Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today I've got a new store visit to share with you. Just one store visit, and I didn't buy a lot there. Basically, I was up in New Hampshire. I had to go to New Hampshire for a doctor visit, and I thought I was going to have some free time to visit three comic book stores in Nashua, New Hampshire. Now, as you know, my previous visits to New Hampshire, I've been to a lot of comic stores, but we weren't in the Nashua area. So there's three comic stores in Nashua that I'd never been to before. I was hoping to get to all three of them, but as it turned out, I was only able to get to one. So we're going to go to a comic book shop called The Comic Store, put it up on the map. I didn't get any video actually inside the store, but I did get some video, quite a long video here outside as you're going into the store, because the store's a little hard to find. It's inside a giant old mill building, and it's not one of these mill buildings that's been converted into a bunch of shops. It's like there's a bunch of units inside and there's different businesses there, but it's still like a functioning like warehouse or something. I don't know. But so I made my way through the loading dock. You have to go through the loading dock to get in the building. And I found the entrance, and there's this long hallway just filled with boxes that are like toys and shipments from Diamond and all sorts of stuff just piled up. And you have to go down run the gauntlet of boxes to get there. And once you get there, the inside of the store looks pretty similar. Now, I talked to the owner, and he said that they're getting things organized, because they're definitely not organized right now. There's stuff everywhere, including piled all over the boxes of comics. So a lot of the comics boxes I was trying to get to, I had to move stuff out of the way. The other thing is, I don't know if they were just getting set up or what, but they had this little section at the front that said like Silver Age and Bronze Age books. That's what I looked through for most of the time. But there were dozens and dozens of other boxes that were labeled. They had just said like box 82, box 55. And a couple of them were open a little bit. I could see in them, and they definitely had like a bunch of really cool stuff, right? So like the stuff that was in the Silver and Bronze Age box was all stuff that was almost all $10 or less. A couple things a little bit higher, but it was like, a bunch of issues of Nova or stuff like that. A bunch of issues of Superman Family. But I could see in some of these other boxes that it was like, oh, there's so much of Silver Age issues of Spider-Man. There's like Amazing Spider-Man, Romita issues from the 50s and 60s and 70s, right? So like, they had a lot more stuff than I was able to sort of get to or identify. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to go through those boxes. I took a quick peek in one of them. The comics in it didn't seem to be priced, so I just put it back and I just didn't look in those boxes. So they have a ton of stuff there, but it doesn't seem like they're fully organized yet. I couldn't really get to everything. Same with like the cases up front. They had, besides comics, they had action figures, they had toys, they had like Pokemon cards and Magic cards, and just like literal piles of stuff. In the case up front, there were a bunch of CGC Golden Age books, but I could only see like one of them. So there was like a Batman, CGC Batman issue from the 1940s, late 40s, and I could see that there was like, I want to say a Superman issue from the mid 40s underneath it, and then I could see another pile, but that pile had stuff on top of it, so I don't know what any of them were. So it was a little hard to find the stuff. It's why I didn't even ask about filming inside. I know you guys like the stuff inside, and most of my videos I'm not really able to do that, but there was just stuff, man. Stuff piled on stuff. Carts. They had all these dollar bins, and I was trying to get to them because I'm pretty sure there was some good stuff somewhere in those dollar bins. There was a lot of indie books from the 80s and stuff, but like, you have to sort of roll a giant thing of Funko Pops out of the way to try and get to them, and It was a lot of work. So I ended up not really doing that. So I spent most of my time that I was there looking through that, again, that little section of the Silver and Bronze Age books. And I did get a couple, almost bought a couple others. They did have some romance, I should say that. A few issues of romance. Unfortunately, they didn't have like the ones I was looking for that I needed, and they also didn't have ones that I'm looking for because I want to, flip them. So, for instance, they had a pretty nice copy of Young Romance, mid-grade copy of Young Romance 149, but they didn't have 150. They had a couple other oddball romance books, a couple oddball like Charlton horror books that I thought about getting. One thing they had that was really cool that I was very tempted by, was they had 3 or 4 issues of ACG's Forbidden Worlds featuring Magic Man. Now, I have one that's really beat up, but books you don't see that much, right? Anytime I see ACG stuff, I'm like, here we go, here we go. And the Magic Man, if you can find their weird superhero books, Magic Man or Nemesis, they're just so wackadoodle. I decided not to buy those. So here's what I did buy. I only got 4 comics, 2 completely different sides of my brain here. Side number 1, I got Walt Disney's Disneyland Birthday Party from Gladstone, which you can see I paid $6 for. This is one of the Gladstones, the giant square-bound issues. And this other one is also a giant square-bound. It's Uncle Scrooge Goes to Disneyland. Now, somewhere I have a Disneyland Birthday Party comic, which is from the 50s. And I have a suspicion that this is a reprint of that. But I don't know. It's a cool book. The best thing about the original version, I have the 10th anniversary version, but they're both from Dell. The best part about it was incredible back cover picture of the characters at Disneyland. So, there were other things like these giant bells from the 50s with the characters going to Disneyland, and I think this might be a reprint of one of those. But, they were $6 each. And as a big Disney theme park person, I thought, why not? And then on the complete other side of my brain, now this is a little bit more than I wanted to pay for this, but I had never seen one before. I'm not really an Atlas completist, but I'm starting to get the sense that I maybe have more Atlas issues than I still need. Like, I think I might have gone over the tipping point of having half of the Atlas comics. But I'd never seen this one before. It's John Target Manstalker number 2. Now, I do have, I think, Target number 1, but this is one where they were like, and a lot of the Atlas books changed the premise and the title within like the first issue to second issue to third issue, and several of them like started off as one genre and then became like superhero books. And I think this is one of them, because I think Target, the first issue is like a cop book, and then here in the second issue he's put on this costume and is calling himself Manstalker, because I'm almost positive he doesn't have that in the first one. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've read Target, but I've definitely never seen this comic before. So I figured, you know what, $6, I really would like to pay less than $5 for it, but I'm going to do it. Similarly, I don't think I have this one. I might have already gotten this one, but it's fine if I did, because it's such a great cover. It's their war book. So bold move in 1975, deciding to put out a new war title when all the other ones were dying out. It's Blazing Battle Tales featuring Sergeant Hawk, and the big draw here is this great cover. It's very much in the style of the Kubert DC books. There's a whole subgenre that I've talked about before, where we, the reader, can see that the Nazis have set a trap, but the heroes, the Americans, don't know it from their their perspective. They can't see what we see. So they're about to walk into the trap, right? So it's a classic thing that Kubert probably has 40 or 50 or more covers with the same design, just, different specifics, but the same idea. But this is not by Kubert, it's by Frank Thorne. So it's just a really great cover. This one was $4, so this is a no-brainer. Again, I might have this one already. I need to go through sometime soon. I'll be going through all of my comics. I really need to get things organized, and one of the things I need to do is get all of my Atlas comics in the same place so I can see what I have and what I don't have, and think about that. But it's a really terrific cover. It's just really well done. So that's it. Those are the 4 comics that I bought. So I'm interested to crack open these Disneyland books. I'm pretty sure they're reprints of the Dells from the 50s, but I don't know. Maybe they have new content. That would be really cool. I'm curious to see what the back cover looked like because the originals had such great back covers, but we'll see. And that was it. As I mentioned, there's 2 other comic book stores. I got the impression just on Google Maps that this was the one with the most back issues, but they were just, one of them was 15 minutes one direction and one of them was 15 minutes the other direction, and the logistics just didn't work out, and I ended up not getting to either of the other 2. But at some point I'll be back in Nashua, and I'll try and check those out. But for now, let me know what you think of the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.